The 11 pointed star beams yellow, orange and red, and from its place upon a dark green background. The pull is irresistible, especially since it calls from the label of a green 60 centiliter bottle containing alcohol. I'm talking about the Hero Lager beer and also the Life beer, an alcoholic beverage marketed in Nigeria. This seems to be the love of most Nigerian consumers who drink this beer not just to satisfy cravings but as a way of inspiration for the people of Nigeria, giving them ties to their traditional culture and showcasing their strength to the world. The Hero Lager beer is not just a beer but was created from the roots of the Nigerian people. This beer shares in the Nigerian struggle. In this video, we will explore the Hero Lager beer, its history and how it came about. Not a lot of people know how this beer came about. I will talk about who founded this beer. If it's your first time on our channel, consider clicking the red subscribe button and turning on the notification icon so you do not miss our future videos from this channel. That sun, which rose but never glowed for too long, means a lot to Michelle Emeka, a manager with a transport and logistics company in Lagos. Not like I'm too keen about Biafra, says Emeka, referring to the state that broke away from Nigeria in a secession attempt in 1967, but seeing the rising sun on it and learning that it is brewed in the town of Onitsha hooked him. This beer, the Hero Lager beer, is consumed around Nigeria, where bagoas and those drinking at backyard parties down it mostly from the bottles, enjoying its hoppy and slightly bitter taste. Perhaps more important than its social function, though, is the fact that the Hero Lager has become an inspirational symbol in Nigeria since it was launched in 2012, tapping into positive associations within the Southeast region's loyalties, struggles, traditions, and tastes. A beer for locals by locals. According to a Lagos-based beer industry analyst, David Masifone, the brand enjoys a certain "this is our own" factor, which makes other brands seem alien. He says, what helps is it even furthers its association with Igbo culture, nationalist sentiment, which played a role in helping the brand usurp pre-existing brands in the East. At another bar in the southeastern town of Nsukka, photo and video journalist Alphonsus Ogili had just finished a bottle of Hero Lager. When I looked at this bottle, it reminds me of our heroes that fought for Biafra, especially Ojukwu, he says. Across plastic bottles on the bar, Hero rested alongside other drinks. The war has ended, but another war is here with us, and demands for self-determination are still here. In May of 1967, 7 years after Nigeria's independence from Britain, military officer Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu declared the eastern region's secession from the rest of the country. The move was in response to a series of military coups that fueled ethnic rivalries and resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands of Igbo people. Ojukwu's breakaway region was deemed the Republic of Biafra, and Ojukwu's acts led to a bloody civil war that lasted until 1970 and resulted in the deaths of more than 1 million people in the eastern region, primarily from starvation, fighting, and disease. The war's outcome, nonetheless, Ojukwu was widely seen as a regional hero for daring to challenge the federal government. Throughout his life, in much of southeastern Nigeria, Ojukwu was celebrated for standing up for the country's southeastern region and its predominantly Igbo population. Although Ojukwu went into exile after the war ended, but returned in 1982 when former President Shehu Shagari granted him an unconditional pardon. When Ojukwu died in November 2011 at the age of 78, his casket, covered in a Nigerian flag, was flown around the country and to his birthplace, Zungeru, in northern Nigeria. He was buried in March of 2012 in his hometown of Nnewi with full military honors. Former President Goodluck Jonathan and his wife, Nigerian author and Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, former Ghanaian President Jerry Rawlings, and other governors and politicians were among the crowd at his funeral, which took place at about 20 kilometers away from Onitsha, a city that happened to be home to a burgeoning brewery. In February of 2011, London-based beer giant Sam Miller, now part of Anheuser-Busch InBev, invested an initial $100 million to build a brewery on Onitsha, the commercial hub of the southeastern state of Nigeria. The brewery will officially open in August in 2012 on the banks of the 4,100-kilometer Niger River, and coming in the wake of Ojukwu's burial. The brewery christened its flagship beer, Hero. The heroic branding was hammered home even further with a label featuring a rising sun, a reference to Biafra's flag, a horizontal tricolor of red, black, and green, with a rising sun in the middle. Given the timing and symbolism, Igbos believe that Hero referred to Ojukwu and almost immediately nicknamed the beer Ompa, which in Igbo means "Oh, my father," in honor of the secessionist leader. It sold for 150 naira, roughly 90 cents then, below the price of major beers dominating the market. It was common to hear people ask their relatives, "Have you had Oh, Mpa?" Hero made people literally mad when it came into the market. Emeka says of the craze, "This is because the beer was made in our region, by our people, for our people." His friend Chidebele Carlo chimes in when it was a mania, and gave everyone a huge sense of the brand. If you've watched our video to this point, kindly click the red subscribe button and turn on the notification icon so you do not miss our future videos from this channel, and I'll see you in my very next video.